Call the meeting to order. This meeting has been posted and announced in accordance with Chapter 231 PL 1975. Mr. Jacobus, please call the roll.
Mr. Kubler.
Here.
Mrs. Torres.
Present.
Mr. Zangari.
Present. Mr.
Frida.
Here.
Mrs. Lombardi.
Here.
Mr. Rivera.
Here. Is there any discussion on the minutes from the May 14, 2014 meeting? Hearing none, it's approved. We have no SGO representative tonight. Items to be presented by administration. Madam Superintendent.
Good evening, everybody. Tonight we're here to honor some very dedicated teachers who have worked very hard this year and have been recognized by both the state and the governor. Will the principals please come up?
Sorry, my back is to all of you. School 3, Wendy Coletti.
Good evening, all members of the Board of Education, and good evening, members of the Belleville community. And a special good evening to School Number 3's honored Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Wendy Coletti. I will say again that it is truly an honor and a privilege for me to be able to speak about School Number 3's second grade teacher, Mrs. Wendy Coletti, who is one of the most dedicated and caring teachers you will ever meet. Wendy has the ability to captivate students' interests as she goes above and beyond each day for them. Her remarkable energy, supportive disposition, kind nature, loyalty, strong work ethic merely skim the surface. Wendy gives true meaning to the words team player. Wendy was the first faculty member to volunteer for School Number 3's Positive Behavior Support in School program when we started this character education endeavor back in 2007. I am very proud to say that due to Wendy's perseverance, her ideas, her ability to create child-friendly resources, and so much legwork behind the scenes, the program continues to flourish today at School Number 3. Wendy has this enthusiastic spirit and ability to get down to business each day when academics are concerned, as she teaches the necessary Common Core standards and model curriculum. This is complemented, ladies and gentlemen, by the ability she possesses to plan our character education pep assemblies that we have periodically at School Number 3, which are also valuable and necessary in today's school environment. And not to mention how much the students absolutely love our pep assemblies. And also not to mention, but I will mention, absolutely how much the students love you, Wendy. They admire you, and they do love you, and they respect you. My next line is, Wendy, please come up and receive your flowers. But since you're already here, Wendy, please enjoy your flowers. Congratulations to you. In conclusion, I would just like to congratulate all of the Governor Teacher of the Year Award recipients within the Belleville School District. Kudos to you. Thank you very much.
School number 4, Aish Takim.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to congratulate all the Teacher of the Year recipients from all the schools. I'm going to read my whole speech. It's a little long, and I know the other principals are in a hurry, but I actually found a quote on the NEA website. The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires. School number 4 is very lucky to have a great and inspiring teacher like Aisha Takim. You can't help but be amazed by Aisha's talent, her passion, and love for the children. She started teaching in Belleville. She's just completed her 12th year. She's taught grades 1 through 4 before becoming an ESL teacher. She wanted to be an ESL teacher because English was also her second language. She was born in Turkey, came to the US when she was 4, so she has empathy for those students and their families. She's trilingual, which allows her to serve our Spanish-speaking students and families, and she speaks English, obviously, and Turkish. She's an outstanding example of what it means to be a team player, whether it was covering a class because another teacher was running late, or helping teachers during their model curriculum testing, DRA testing, or Assess Now testing, whether it was helping me put labels on NJAS booklets, or filling in the bubbles when the labels were missing, and we had a lot of labels missing this year, or even answering the phone in the main office. She not only completed her duties as a teacher, she was also the INRS coordinator for our school improvement panel member, and she was part of the International Night Committee. She truly goes above and beyond for school number 4. She's not only passionate about ESL, she is passionate about education in general. It is educators like Aisha that make my job that much easier and enjoyable. Congratulations, Aisha Takim, on being school number 4's Teacher of the Year.
Our Teacher of the Year for school number 5, Paula Gascarano.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, honored guests, and especially to all our honorees from each and every school, Teachers of the Year in each building. I want to give you my personal congratulations for a job well done. Paula Cascarano has been a teacher of students with disabilities for 12 years. She's completing her 12th year. I've only had the honor and privilege of working with her for the last 3 years, but I know her about maybe 7 or 8 years from the district. And I can only say very simply that it's been an honor and a privilege to have her on staff. The passion and the enthusiasm that she conducts herself with on a daily basis and the way that she loves her children, it's as if she's teaching her own children that she has at home. That's how much she loves her children. She's also loyal to her colleagues, loyal to me, loyal to everyone that she works with. Whenever I decide to take a day and I'm not in school, which is very rarely, she's the person. She's my lead person in that building. And when I'm at home, no matter how sick I am, I know that she's doing a great job. She's just an awesome person. She is so passionate about what she does. She has phenomenal ideas for her students that each and every year she just improves upon herself every single year. And she surprises me every year with more and more ideas that she wants to incorporate into her curriculum for her students. Her one main goal in life as a teacher is to help each and every one of her students succeed and be a part of a community where they can be happy and successful and just have a wonderful life. It's my honor and my privilege to honor her tonight. She is one of the finest teachers I have ever seen and one that I've ever known. I love her dearly. Congratulations, Paula. You deserve everything you get. That's good.
School number 7, Kara Steinwander.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to present the Teacher of the Year of School number 7. The staff at number 7 are dedicated, compassionate, and caring, so choosing one exceptional teacher from many extraordinary candidates was extremely difficult. However, the person that I am going to recognize today, Ms. Kara Steinwander, is indeed truly unique. She teaches special education and has 3 different grades of students in her classroom at the same time. 3 grades of students working on lessons prepared and presented in 3 different ways. Planning successful lessons for this type of class takes skill and expertise. Her classroom environment is always organized, calm, productive, and best of all, happy. She is a ray of sunshine to her kids, and it is obvious that she loves them as they love her. Ms. Steinwander goes far beyond her duties as a teacher to make our school extra special. I often get email from her at all hours of the night while she's researching various activities for our students and teachers. Ms. Steinwander has made a habit out of leaving school hours after the children. As the HIP specialist, she has planned many school-wide character-building events, which helps us to stay in compliance with our state-mandated HIP activities. She always includes bulletin boards that represent the students' participation and conducts assemblies to encourage them in their endeavors. The time that Ms. Steinwander dedicates to our school is an enormous help to the entire faculty and administration, and the activities she creates are both educational and fun for both the students and the teachers. Ms. Steinwander, by your upbeat attitude and enthusiasm, it is evident that you find teaching to be not only fun, but rewarding as well. The amount of time and energy that you put into your planning, your projects, and your students is evidenced by the high quality of your end results. We, the administration, teachers, and students at school number 7 are not only very proud to have you as an integral part of our family, we feel extremely fortunate as well. Congratulations to school number 7's Teacher of the Year, Ms. Kara Steinwander.
School number 8, Maria Spina.
Good evening, members of the board, families, and community. I have to apologize, I cut my speech in half, I really want to rush. As a first-year principal at School 8, I'm in awe by the sheer talent and patience that all of our elementary teachers have. However, one stood out this year, and it was her kind, gentle nature, welcoming her students each day that awarded her the prestigious title as Teacher of the Year. This teacher has demonstrated the professionalism and fortitude that embodies the practice of education. Her patience and caring is unprecedented by most, and she is an integral part of our School Aid family. Therefore, it is an honor and a privilege to announce School Aid's Teacher of the Year, Ms. Maria Spina.
School number 9, Carol Spina.
It is my honor and privilege to recognize Mrs. Carol Spina here tonight, not only to celebrate her as a recipient of the School 9 Governor's Award, but to congratulate her on a full circle, yes, on her retirement, following 42 years. Students in the Belleville district. And I say district because coming full circle, while it all began at School 9, where we are today, it then went into pretty much every building in the district. Only 9 and 10. But she's back here with us now, so that's the end of her circle. And we thank you so much for everything that you've done for our students and for our staff. A wonderful resource.
School 10, Nicole Rosa.
I was so happy when the committee voted to honor Nicole Rosa this year. And as I sat to write my speech, I thought Nicole and I really have a lot in common. Nicole was brought up in Belleville. I was brought up in Belleville. Nicole went to number 8. I went to number 7. Nicole went to the middle school. I went to Belleville Middle School. Nicole graduated from Belleville High. I graduated from Belleville High. Nicole is 29. I am 29. When I look for a first grade teacher, which is what Nicole Rosa teaches presently, a professor of mine many years ago when I went for my master's in reading said a first grade teacher must have a strong basis in literacy instruction. And that is Nicole Rosa. She is just wonderful with balanced literacy. She uses our tiered instruction at number 10. She provides interventions. She is the person that we go to when we provide demo lessons for other teachers and administrators. I am so fortunate to have her in the building. Parents feel the same way. She loves her children, and I believe she loves her career. And I just thank you for everything you do, Nicole, at school number 10, and we wish you the best. Thank you.
Okay, Belleville Middle School, Patricia Mezza.
Good evening, everyone. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the Belleville Middle School to honor Miss Patricia Mesno. Well, let me begin by telling you just a little bit about Miss Mesno. Miss Mesno has been a special education teacher for the Belleville Public Schools since 1991. She has spent the past 23 years working for the Belleville Public Schools. That's awesome, 23 years. She has worked with our most special group of children at the Belleville Middle School. Ms. Mesno is an inspiration to our children, her colleagues, and to our administration. She's a friend, a counselor, a mentor, a guide, and of course, an exceptional educator. You are. You have shown our children the way to lead their lives as you positively model in everything you do. You have shown us all the way as we continue through some of these roads, some good, some not so good. But you always manage to touch our lives, and for that we are eternally grateful. Ms. Mesno, you give us all unconditional love. Your kindness, your laughter, and who can ask for anything more than that? So today, this evening, the staff at the Belleville Middle School would so proudly like to honor you for all that you have done for us. You have always been there when our little babies need you, especially the most at times. Not only our children, but our colleagues, and especially me. You never failed us in any way, and on the contrary, when the going got tough, you managed to turn the negative into a positive. And that's greatly appreciated. Our children were never turned away, not in the hallway, cafeteria, elevator, wherever we are, never turn them away. And they know that and they feel that. So Ms. Mesno, I have to say you are truly an amazing human being. We honor you with all the wonderful things you have done for our children in Belleville. And we just love you, so congratulations.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education, administration, teachers, students, parents, and community members. Tonight, we have 3 teachers receiving awards from the high school. I'd like to call them up at this time. Gerard Ross. Julian Berger. Myself will give you a little description of each of what they have done and accomplished this year and in years in the past. First, it gives me great pleasure that I introduce to you again the Governor's Teacher Recognition Award for Belleville High School, Mr. Gerard Ross. Distinguished, outstanding individual who has served Belleville all of his life. Yes, it is. That's right. He is a student athlete, and I said is. He still is. You should see him swing the clubs. Belleville High School graduate 1981. Community member still. Belleville High School teacher who has returned to his roots. He came back to us 11 years ago. First as a sub, now teaching business law, criminal justice, just to mention a few. Gerard graduated from Seton Hall University in 1985 with a Bachelor of Arts. He continued his education graduating from West New England School of Law in 1988. Up to 11 years ago, he had his own law practice, and I believe he still practices law on the side. But his true heart is in education and in the Belleville school system. Upon his return to Belleville High School, he became the school's golf coach, advisor to the mock trial team, beating teams such as Milburn, Newark Academy, and other mock trial rivals. He is also the past chairman and now present member of the Belleville High School Middle States Accreditation Team. Just to let everybody know, the high school has received its accreditation this past March. And most of all, Gerard has put life back into the Belleville High School law program to be one of the best in the state, from running one section of law to now where we're running 6 sections that have over 100 kids enrolled. So to Jerry, I owe that gratitude to him. He's an outstanding person. Flowers from us, a Belleville High School logo pin, and a certificate from Ms. Lombardi congratulating all of them. Gerard, once again, you make Belleville proud, and it's a pleasure to be your colleague. Next, I'm going to call on Mr. Latanja to present the next award.
Good evening, members of the board. Ms. Feldman. Next, we would like to recognize VHS 2014-15 New Jersey State Teacher of the Year Program recipient, Mrs. Judith Worster. In the past 15 years at Belleville High School, she has developed our culinary arts program into a state-approved CTE, Career and Technical Education Program of Study. She started a chapter of the student organization FCCLA, Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, to help our students develop leadership skills. As the FCCLA advisor, she has received the National Honors of Master Advisor and the Spirit of Advising Awards. She works with the Belleville community to educate its members, highlighting the efforts of our students and to give students the opportunity to get involved in service learning. Combining the talents and hard work of our FCCLA members, our community partners, our school safety team, and our CTE department. They created a program to build awareness of the dangers associated with distracted driving. Due to her tireless efforts, BHS was awarded a driving simulator for our campaign to be used in our driver's education program, valued at over $20,000. This school year has been very exciting. The leaders of the National AAFCS, American Association of Family and Consumer Scientists, professional organization from Washington, D.C., visited our culinary arts program. Mrs. Worster and her class were filmed for a featured presentation on Good Morning America with reporter Dan Abrams, attended a class on developing knife skills as a student. Her students and the culinary arts program were highlighted in the community newspaper and New Jersey Online. In addition to positive recognition for our programs in high school, she was honored as a New Jersey state finalist in the Samsung Solve for Tomorrow Technology competition, where we received our to receive state-of-the-art iPads. And also on a personal note, Ms. Worcester, thank you. Every time I'm hungry, you always have food ready for me in the classroom. Once again, Ms. Judith Worcester.
Next, we have Assistant Principal IL, who is going to read something that was sent to us for the History Teacher of the Year, Mr. Gary Kotzkin.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Feldman, community members, and NJEA members. It gives me great pleasure to read this letter that was sent to Mr. Glaskin. Congratulations, you are the 2014 New Jersey History Teacher of the Year. The Gilder Lehrman Institute of American History and Preserve America are honored to celebrate the outstanding work that you do in the classroom. A panel of teachers, administrators, and academics from your state chose you for your use of primary documents in the classroom, the level of inspiration that you provide to your students, and your career achievements in education. We thank you for engaging students with dedication and creativity. As the 2014 New Jersey History Teacher of the Year, you will receive a $1,000 award, a certificate of recognition, an archive of books and historical resources presented in your name to your school library, and an invitation to attend the 2015 Gilder Lehrman Teacher Seminar. You will be recognized at a ceremony within your state. You are also a finalist for the $10,000 National History Teacher of the Year Award. In the coming weeks, your application will be reviewed by a national panel of judges. The winner of the national competition will be announced in the early fall. In addition, your school will be named a Gilder Lehrman Affiliate School. Affiliate schools receive invitations to regional forums with noted historians, access to an exclusive section of our website with extensive teacher resources such as lesson plans, toolkits, and primary source documents to use in the classroom, priority access to our teacher seminars and traveling exhibition, discounts to our online store, and free mailings of classroom materials. Sincerely, Leslie Herman, Executive Director. Congratulations, Mr. Glaskin, and thank you for educating our students in a very inspiring way.
Just to add some of the highlights of this year, we want to say bon voyage to the Belleville High School student David Herrera. He's going to be going to Japan on a full scholarship in July. Our student Najalis Gual won first place in the 2014 Historic Youth Talent Showcase at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center. She will also be featured on a PBS documentary that was filmed here by Emmy Award-winning television producer, Mr. William Sanchez, in our studio. We're looking forward to it, and we will be honoring her in September. Our Belleville Key Club visited the first cerebral palsy school and participated in mock rescue demonstrations with the police department and the K-9 dogs, and the students were absolutely delighted and really enjoyed. They wanted me to give a special thank you to the Key group. Also, congratulations to our future business leaders of America for advancing to the Nationals in Tennessee. We're waiting to hear the results. This year we have established partnerships with NJIT, Rutgers 4-H, Stevens Institute in the STEM initiatives, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. From those partnerships, we have 7 students, grade 5 to 7, who were awarded full scholarships, and they're going to space camp. We also are introducing new and innovative classes in water robotics and pharmacological engineering by Dr. Joy Alfano and Mr. Doran Grace. These classes will be credit-bearing in September, and we hope to begin them soon. From Rutgers University, we have 13 of our high school students who were accepted into the Samson 4-H Rutgers Science Camp on full scholarships. Also, Mrs. Liz Ramirez was accepted into a workshop on engineering at the Stevens Institute of Technology. So we're on a science, math, engineering roll. We also want to congratulate two Belleville High School students, Avery Frederico and Vincent Lamparella, for earning the Eagle Scout rank from the Boy Scouts of America. Wow. We also had a wonderful school-wide talent programs in all of our schools, so we want to congratulate all of the students who performed in the many plays, concert, and music programs that entertained us through the year, and their talented teachers who made these programs possible. For the first time this year, we debuted the Mr. and Ms. Belleville Scholarship Pageant under the leadership of Gary Palatano. Congratulations to PJ Gencarelli and Andrea Lindsay, who will be representing us in all of the major towns' activities. And to all of our seniors who made us very proud. The senior prom was an absolute success. The senior barbecue event was wonderful. The children donated the food to our food pantry. And I am especially proud of the efforts and generosity to all of the less fortunate that our students contributed to the homeless, to the cleanup efforts around town, and around our neighboring areas. We are truly looking forward to the high school graduation, although we don't want them to leave. And that will be held on Thursday, and our middle school graduation on Wednesday. Okay, just moving on. This year, we're going to have our Wall of Recognition induction. The two people that are going to be honored are going to be the Honorable Edward J. Abramson, who was a Belleville Municipal Court Judge, and Michael Marotti, who was the former mayor of Belleville. Thank you.
Mr. Egan? Present yourself.
Continue with the meeting. The next item on the agenda is a presentation by Mr. Jeffrey Bliss. He's a certified public accountant with the firm of Lurch, Vinci and Higgins. He was retained to examine the books and records of the school district to make a projection as to the status of the district for the 13-14 school year. Mr. Bliss has been a certified public accountant and is a partner with the Lurch, Vinci and Higgins firm with many years of experience throughout not only the county but the state. And he's prepared to go over his findings. Mr. Bliss?
Thank you, Mr. Regan. Good evening, board members and residents.
Mike.
Working?
The wire. It's the wire. Just move over. Yeah. This is problem solving.
better? Let's try it again. Thank you, Mr. Regan, and good evening, members of the board and residents of Belleville. We were asked to come in and do a projection of where we thought the district would end up with respect to its fund balances. There was a concern when we came in that the district might be running into a deficit position. Our charge was to review the budget accounts, both the revenue side of the budget as well as the expenditure side of the budget, and project out the remaining revenues to be received as well as the expenses to be paid through June 30th. We went through each individual account. With respect to the revenue side, it's not much of a projection. 50% of your money comes from district taxes, which you will receive 100% of, and 43% of your money comes from state aid. The only unknown in state aid is extraordinary special ed aid and non-public school aid, which you do not budget for, but have received in the past. So we did roughly 75% of what you received last year as a projection. With respect to the expenditure side of the budget, approximately 60% of your expenditures are for salaries. That's salaries across the board, teacher salaries, aides, custodial services, administration, school administration. And we actually went through each salary line. We reviewed April and May's payrolls and projected out the June payroll for the remainder of the year. Health benefits, which roughly represents 17% of the expenditures. We reviewed all the bills for the year, went through, made sure you had everything encumbered to date, and projected out basically either the last month or last quarter that was due. And in some cases, we actually had the bills for June or for the last quarter. So it was based on almost actual. Some of the other big areas that we concentrated on is tuition. Tuition obviously is a major cost category. We went through and reviewed all the bills that you pay for the year, made sure we had all the vendors of special ed tuition where you send children, classified children out of district to private schools, reviewed their tuition bills, looked at the last month they were paid and projected out the remaining months of the year. We did the same for contractual costs of transportation, which is another significant budget category, and projected those costs. And we went through all those contractual costs and major cost categories. When we were all said and done, what our engagement and what our procedures revealed is that the district is basically, with the additional extraordinary aid, if we received 75% of last year, as far as the revenue side of the budget, will come on target and possibly have a little excess of about $355,000 on the revenue side. That's a very positive thing. With respect to the expenditure side, that side of the ledger, as we would say, is not as favorable. What we noted there is at the current spending trends, at the current salary requirements, the tuition requirements, and all the other requirements to get through June, the budget we're saying would basically overspent approximately $4.8 million. Started the year with, which was about $1.2 million. What we're projecting the district to end up at the end of the year is in a deficit position of roughly $3.6 million. major causes of this deficit is when we reviewed all the salary and wage lines, and there's approximately 55 salary accounts. It covers all the salaries of the district, teachers, again, general administration, school administration, custodial. We're going to come in over budget of roughly $1.9 to $2 million. Our tuition for special ed, private schools, for the disabled, we're looking at a run rate that's potentially going to put us about $900,000 over budget. Those two lines in themselves put you at roughly $2.9 million of the $3.6 million. Some of the other major areas were transportation costs for special ed. They're coming in roughly $369,000 over budget. We had legal services. I guess we had a significant number of litigation. It's about $200,000 over. And again, there's some other special ed cost areas, which are related services, OTPT, and extraordinary services, which is a little bit higher level of services, such as one-on-one aids. We're projecting the purchase service costs in those areas to provide those services to those students would be roughly $250,000 over budget. Some other areas, energy costs have increased. The budget is prepared almost a year in advance. We're roughly running about $280,000 over there. Those are the major areas that are causing this $3.6 million deficit, and it's all really on the spending side, meaning we're spending at a higher rate than we actually are bringing in revenues, and therefore putting us in the red of approximately $3.6 million.
Thank you for your report. Items, remarks, and committee reports will be presented by board members. Mr. Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I would like to thank all the teachers and recipients for Teacher of the Year awards. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude for all your hard work, dedication this year, being positive role models on our students, because that's where the foundation, the drive starts, and that helped you exceed and be picked by the communities and the panel, and you're being a positive role model. We appreciate that, and again, my sincere gratitude for that. And as we know, that is one of our strong points. Teachers are a foundation of our district, and we need to learn to come together, work together to build that. Obviously, no one's happy to hear this deficit we are in, but we need to all come together and to work together to come goal again, to move forward, to correct this issue, and give us financial stability in the future. I would also like to thank Mrs. Feldman for giving us an update on all the wonderful programs our students are doing and our teachers with the resources that they have. I would also like to congratulate our boys volleyball team, which finished 20th for the state this year. Our teachers and parents here to have confidence in us that we will get this job done, to get us in the right direction, that nothing will negatively affect our children, and we'll get there. I have faith and confidence. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'd also like to congratulate all of our teachers. Congratulations on your Governor's Recognition Award. As you can see, all your dedication and hard work does pay off, because we have 14 seniors that have received full scholarships in math and science, not to mention the programs that we have instituted right now with NJIT and Stevens Institute. So I'd like to thank you personally for your time, your dedication, and your
we look forward to working with everyone, improving our school district, working with the teachers, and looking forward to working with them as well. Thank you.
Mr. Zangari?
Congratulations to all the recipients of the awards this evening. Thank you on behalf of the board for your hard work and dedication. When I look at this report from the general fund, I think we really need to go back into committee and take a look at some of these items. The first one, salary and wages, we know the corrective action plan for that. But some of these other expenditures, I mean, transportation, we budgeted $730,000, we go 1.1. Tuition for private schools and disabled, we budget $3.47 million. We go over that by almost $900,000. We're really going to have to take a look at these line items. And Mr. Regan, what is the plan going forward with projecting the expenditures for the following year? Because some things like energy, our energy costs were budgeted at $763,000 and they were over $1 million. And that number was projected then higher than the year before. So how do we accurately gauge what these costs are going to be the following year? Mr. Regan?
Are you talking to me? The situation is, as Mr. Bliss pointed out, for the 13-14 year, the budget was overspent and we're in a major deficit. This was the first step in righting the ship. The second step is that we have to make sure that the 14-15 budget is going to be contained, that the line items that we have either have to be accurate, and most likely, and as I explained in previous meetings, we overspent salaries by almost $2 million.
Yeah.
And as you see, as we discussed in the work session in previous times, certain steps will be taken, beginning with tonight, to reorganize administration and some other areas in the district, with the goal of reducing costs. And that's what we're doing. It's not going to be done overnight. It's going to be a process that continues through the summer, so that by the time we get into September 1st, when all the salary lines really kick in, to be at the highest level, we hope to have that more accurate and more efficient. We're going to have to do more with less. And that's what we're in the process of doing.
Mr. Zangari, Freedom.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a couple of things here. First of all, I would just like to say congratulations to all of our Teachers of the Year recipients tonight. Your hard work and dedication is truly appreciated, and I am delighted that we have the opportunity to recognize your accomplishments tonight. So thank you very much. It's truly appreciated. Number two, I would like to recognize our culinary arts students. On June 12th, my wife and I and other members of the BTAC Advisory Council were invited to the Culinary Arts Dinner held right here at Belleville High School. The students prepared dinner and dessert for all of us. food was absolutely delicious, and at the end of the meal, I was ready to ask for the check. That's how good it was. I know the students worked very hard this year. Many of them have obtained their food safety certification. And recently, some of them were studying for their manager food safety certification. Both of these are recognized in the restaurant and culinary profession. So, Mr. I want to thank you for all of your hard work. And please extend my thanks to the students. It was wonderful. Finally, congratulations and best wishes to our seniors who are graduating on Thursday. I wish them the best of luck in their future endeavors. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. Mrs. Lombardi.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to congratulate all of our Governor Teachers of the Year recognition. Our teachers are wonderful in Belleville. You're the rock of our children, our students, my 3 children specifically. Reap the benefit of all of your hard work and commitment, and I am truly grateful. Happy and healthy retirement to all of our retirees this year. And congratulations to the class of 2014. All the best to all of our students. And once again, I would just like to thank Mr. Egan and Mr. Bliss this evening for being here with us and helping us get back on track. I look forward to a very good September. Have a great summer.
Thank you, Mrs. Zimmer. I will echo my fellow board members' sentiments and congratulating all the award recipients tonight. Mr. Klotzkin, congratulations. I wish you luck in the Nationals. I hope that you win. And Mrs. Orsa, congratulations to you as well. And congratulations to that lucky student that's going to get on the exchange program to Japan. That sounds like a wonderful trip. That's all my report for tonight. Going back, we need to have a motion on number 6 to accept the report of Leck, Vincent, and Higgins. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Jacobus, please call the roll.
Mr. Kugler. Yes. Mrs. Torres.
Yes.
Mr. Zangari.
Yes.
Mr. Frida.
Yes.
Mrs. Lombardi.
Yes.
Mr. Rivera.
Yes. Moving on to remarks by citizens.
Mr. President, if I may interrupt, Mr. Bliss, I know he has other things on his agenda that he has to do. I may suggest that there's members of the audience that want to ask a few questions specifically on his report, if there are any. Let them do that first, so that Mr. Bliss can be excused and we can continue the rest of the meeting.
Okay, we're going to open up to the floor for questions to the accountant.
Right, so in the beginning, all questions should be, the initial questions should be about the deficit, or about the report.
Are there any questions from the please raise your hand. Mrs. Polite.
Good evening. Going over the line items that you had stated, 1.9 for salary, 900,000 for special education, and OTPT. What does that stand for? Okay. And the legal, the 250,000 over budget for legal. What was that specifically attributed to?
That was a mistake in the business office where a claim did not go to...
I beg your pardon, but I was directing the question through the chair to Mr. Bliss.
The legal was related to, I can't say here and tell you specifically what the cases were, but they involved multiple attorneys and multiple firms. So it was an accumulation of three main attorneys, three main firms, and then some ancillary legal expenses.
Okay,
There were
why
three
would-
main firms that were
Why would not those costs be handled through the board attorney?
I can't answer.
And were those legal costs, were they bid for? Were those
I don't know that either. What I did was I looked at what you're paying, when's the last time you paid it, and projected forward how much you would pay to the end of the year.
I noticed, and I don't know, I consider myself, not a bright person, but I'm definitely not illiterate, being a Belleville High School graduate. There was no mention in any of your line items, the security system. Or more appropriately, the unbudgeted surveillance system. And the costs attributed to the maintenance and the contract of a no-bid job.
With respect to information technology, there was in the report indicated that the purchase services under the administrative technology, which included services for the security, those line items were overspent about $269,000.
Okay, so you're saying...
Excuse me, may I just interrupt a little for clarity? For a clearer understanding, once again, what Mr. Bliss did, he saw he reviewed the purchase orders that were encumbered, amounts that were paid, amount that was still owed, but then documented everything that's been spent up until a certain point, and then he projected an average for the rest of the year. Going into the overall spending, numbers are correct. Going into specific categories and asking him why or how, it's beyond his scope. So after he leaves, if you have further questions about that could be asked at that time. But we just have to direct the questions to Mr. Bliss, and I want that opportunity for the audience to have that opportunity to talk to him directly. But please understand what his role was. It's all black and white. What was there, not the reasons or approval things behind it. That's okay.
But I'm saying it's not in the numbers. The numbers aren't showing there. In as far as you're saying, you're only budgeting out. This is only what he's found up until June of 2014.
No, but these are like over expenditures, but there was a lot of money budgeted, and it wasn't enough. I'll give you an example. I'm having difficulty locating it. I can't find it right now. But
In the interest of time, we can address this at a later date. Thank you, Mr. Egan. Thank you, Mr. Bliss.
Can I have a motion open for public participation? Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Remarks regarding agenda items and issues that are relevant to the educational system. Participant must sign in and be recognized by the presiding officer and must preface comments by an announcement of his or her name, place of residence, and group affiliation if appropriate. The individual called shall proceed with a maximum of 5 minutes. All statements shall be directed to the President of the Board of Education. No participant may address board members individually. Before we get started, I don't know what happened to these lists, but this is how I got the pages. And one is ripped. So if anybody's name is missing off here, please let me know. We'll try to find out what took place. That being said, Tiffany Cook, please come to the podium. State your name, address, and group affiliation if appropriate. Tiffany Cook. Maribel Dominguez, please come to the podium. State your name, address, and group affiliation if appropriate.
Good evening. My name is Maribel Dominguez, and I'm currently living at 140 Franklin in Nutley. The reason why I'm here is because my son is in first grade, and his teacher, Miss Natalie Minkini, is the most unbelievable teacher that I can say. I can't say enough about her, and to my dismay, I just found out that she's getting a pink slip, and I can't. She's done so much for my son, and it's all about the children, right? Like you said, it's all about the children and their education, and teachers that are willing to dedicate themselves, to help the kids. And it's really disappointing to know that she just got a pink slip. And what's that going to happen next year? They're going to fit another 30 kids in one classroom? Really? That's my argument. It's not fair to the kids. Thank you.
Mike Diaz, please come to the podium, state your name, address, and group affiliation.
Hi, my name is Michael Diaz, proud member of Belleville Education Association, 77 Center Street. I am also a lifelong resident of Belleville and a graduate of Belleville High School. I'm here tonight to address Ms. Feldman's superintendent message from 2012-2013. She claims, "Our goal as educators is to prepare students to become more productive members of society. Children of today live in a society that is both complex and ever-changing. It is necessary for our children to continue to be exposed to the best practices in education, modern technology, and also be able to graduate from high school with skills necessary to be successful in college or the workplace. We will utilize the 21st century technology tools to enhance student success." Sadly, I'm here to remind everyone that her goals and promises from 2012 and 13 not only fell short, but to my dismay, cheated and hurt the children of the Belleville school system. This broken promise will resurface continually as our students go to college or the workplace, lacking 21st century tools and a solid education necessary to succeed until addressed properly. At the March Board of Education meeting, I gave our district's technology survey to all the stakeholders. Now, as we approach the end of the 2013-14 school year, I'm here to give an update of our modern technology, tools used to enhance our students' success. let's just say that there really isn't much to report. We were told that Clarity Technologies will be taking over all of Belleville's technology and IT requests to the tune of $20,000 a month. What we received in return is minimal. With a budget freeze, Clarity claims they can't update nor fix any major problems due to lack of money. So teachers and staff are still stuck without printers, printer cartridges, speakers for audio, updated computers, and outdated programs. Yes, it is true, many of the PCs are still running on Windows 2000 or Windows XP, both obsolete programs. And some PCs themselves are from 1994, 20 years old. Clarity has answered IT requests by telling teachers they can't resolve the issues because of the lack of funds, nor can they update software licenses. So we're paying a company to do absolutely nothing. Century, as you proclaimed upon being hired and continue to do so via the superintendent's message, our students suffer. I am happy to report, though, we did receive carts of laptops for the pilot park assessments that have been used in School 8 and School 10. However, other schools have these laptop carts sitting unopened, unused, because there was no directive from administration nor clarity on how to access them and how they will be issued. In School 7, these laptops can't be used because a port is needed. So if a student wants to use them, they must sit in the hallway. For $20,000 a month, I would hope our children weren't being told to go work in the hallway. To put it frankly, a full year has been wasted. Our students are no closer to being prepared for the park and lack necessary 21st century technology because of the lack of direction from this superintendent and the Board of Education and the questionable ability of Clarity to fulfill their $20,000 a month job. I hope Mrs. Feldman will revisit her 2-year-old superintendent message. I have them available here for any audience member who would like them. I would hope that Ms. Feldman will visit her 2-year-old superintendent message, recommit to the goals, stand behind her promises, and always keep Belleville's children first. For if this is not possible, then perhaps this is not the place for her to remain. Thank you.
Bloomfield, and I am a proud teacher in the Belleville School District. I chose this profession to help young minds think critically and creatively, to encourage curiosity, and to provide our children with the knowledge and confidence necessary to accomplish their dreams and their goals. When I started at Belleville 10 years ago, there was indeed a strong sense of partnership and collaboration. The teachers had the support and respect of the administration, and the superintendent and the board made choices that allowed learning to flourish. That feeling was encouraged when I read Dr. Feldman's superintendent's message in 2012, which stated that she looked forward to working collaboratively to accomplish our mission for every child, and that we will form a partnership with the support of school board members, educational leaders, and teachers. To say those words were hollow and deceiving is an understatement. As you are aware, a survey conducted in the beginning of the year revealed that the overwhelming majority of teachers felt intimidated by the board. One reason for this, that we are in constant fear of being involuntarily transferred. Who can blame us, as there have been 35 involuntary transfers since September? Being transferred has real and severe negative effects on the teachers and the students. It takes educators years to become experts in their specific subject area and grade level. When a teacher is transferred all of the time, effort, and personal expense they have invested is thrown to the wayside. And while the thinking may be to silence the teachers, was anyone thinking about the impact on the students? They suffer as well. They are now taught by someone overwhelmed by the daunting task of learning a new curriculum and getting his or her bearings in a new school, while still reeling from the transfer. The fact that so many involuntary transfers in a single school year speaks volumes about the partnership that Dr. Feldman boasted of in her message. How can we possibly encourage independent thinking and creativity in such a horribly oppressive environment? In Dr. Feldman's message, she also claimed that we would be provided with modern technology to enhance our students' learning experience. As she stated, we will utilize 21st century tools. As you now know from listening to Mr. Diaz's report, this could not be further from the truth. But to be fair, we do have one piece of 21st century technology that is fully functional and we utilize in all of our schools, and that is the $2 million surveillance system. To allocate the taxpayers' funds towards such a system in a district whose students lack the bare necessities was highly irresponsible and frankly unconscionable. The board attempted to justify this purchase by stating it was intended for safety purposes. But I ask you, does this system really keep them safe? It cannot prevent weapons from being brought into our schools. It cannot prevent fights. It cannot prevent strangers from entering the building. This system does not protect our students, but harms them by inhibiting their overall learning environment and draining our district of funds that should have been allocated towards necessities. The board's poor decisions have resulted in severe adverse effects. Numerous young and talented teachers have fled from the district, not because they didn't care, but because they could no longer stand the deplorable and stifling working environment. Many veteran teachers are retiring long before they planned, even if it meant losing some of their pension, because they can no longer bear witness to the rapid decline of a district that was once a wonderful place to work. A district should respect and collaborate with their teachers, not intimidate them and run them out of town. The choices this board has made and its refusal to listen to our input reveal that Dr. Feldman and the board have no intention to collaborate and partner with us, regardless of what her message says. You see, the words in this message are no longer believable to us. Over the past few years, too many actions, and in some cases inaction, have been contrary to what we were promised. The only way to change the course is to change yourselves. Change the way you treat your staff. Change the way... I'm almost finished. May I wrap up, please? May I wrap up? I have two more things to say. Thank you. Change the way you treat your staff. Change the way that you conduct administrative and board business. You must change because the reality is that we have changed. There are now residents and parents who care so much about reforming our schools, they've made second jobs at helping us expose the truth. You now have employees that, despite the daily intimidation, they're brave enough to band together and stand up behind our fearless leader, Mike Mignon, for what is right. I stand here proudly to tell you that the teachers of Belleville are united for education and against all that stands in its way. We will continue to fight for our district and for our children until they have the education they deserve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Powers, please come.
and I'm a proud member and proud teacher here in Belleville.
Oh, yeah.
All day, we've been rallying for a better Belleville. And to those of you here in support of that cause, I must start with a heartfelt thank you. It is amazing to see your collective concern for our community. And I believe that everyone in this room, at least at one time, had a shared vision for what it meant to be a better Belleville. And it's time to make sure that the things that you all say that you want for this district match the actions that you take. To create a better Belleville, maybe we need to, and I quote, recognize our responsibility to provide students with a meaningful and relevant educational environment that will contribute to their total development. Those aren't my words. They come from the Belleville Public Schools website under the portion titled District Philosophy. The problem is, it appears the written district philosophy and the actions we've taken within our district do not align. As educators, we have a responsibility, a duty, to make school meaningful and relevant and to do so in an environment that helps to develop the whole child. If we are not equipped with the proper supplies, opportunities, or support, which is your duty, we as teachers cannot do our job. We cannot fulfill this district philosophy. To create a better Belleville, maybe we need to, and again I quote, provide a positive environment in which children are eager to explore and to learn so that they may develop into active, participating, and productive citizens in compliance with the goals of the core curriculum content standards. As we celebrate cultures and differences, we look to pupils, parents, school, and community in order to share the responsibility of student growth and development. Again, those are not my words. They come from the Belleville Public Schools website under the portion titled Mission. Sadly, it appears that once again, our written mission statement and the actions taken within our district do not align. For months, we've been asking for an open and honest dialogue as we move forward with our district to try to rectify some of the apparent wrongs, but many of our pleas went unanswered. I want Mr. Egan to know that the teachers are willing and able to sit and talk, and I am proud to call these people my colleagues and many of them my friends. The teachers I have come close with over the past 9 years are some of the smartest, most dedicated, and inspirational school leaders I've ever had the fortune to encounter, and I can think of countless ways that teachers can help in achieving many of our goals. The problem is, we haven't been asked. In fact, we've been pushed aside. I urge you to tap into us as a resource, as we remain willing and able to contribute. Finally, to create a better Belleville, maybe we need to, and once again I quote, prepare students to become productive members of society. Children of today live in a society that is both complex and ever-changing. It is necessary for our children to continue to be exposed to the best practices in education, modern technology, and also be able to graduate from high school with the skills necessary to be successful in college or the workplace. Once again, these are not my words. These come from Dr. Feldman's superintendent's message. And frankly, Dr. Feldman, we could not agree with you more. The problem is, it appears that what you say and the actions taken within our district do not seem to align. As spoken to earlier, without supplies or support, it's become increasingly difficult to expose our students to best practices in modern technology. And still, the teachers every single day do their best to make that happen. Some of our classrooms are equipped with modern technology, but many are sorely lacking. We share laptops with one another and welcome students to move with their teacher between classrooms so they may have access to a smartboard. We sign out a netbook card to use with our children for in-class projects, only to find that 2/3 of them are not able to hook up to the internet that day. All told, the Belleville described on the website and the Belleville we are currently working in are a vastly different place. The website speaks to the importance of us recognizing our responsibilities as educators, the importance of providing a positive environment, and the necessity to expose our students to best practices and modern technology. It is time to make the Belleville that exists on the district website and the Belleville that we currently work in the same place. Thank you for your time.
Your name is here again, but unfortunately you don't get to speak twice. I'm sorry. Patty and Margarado, please come to the stage. Podium. And Deanna? Stephanie is crossed off on you. Oh, it's on the other page. Yes, you can. That's why it's so Deanna gets crossed off. Patty Margarado, please come to the podium, state your name, your address, and your group affiliation with the program.
Patty Margarado, and it's 98 Sanford Avenue in Belleville.
teachers here are in a wonderful display of unity. So I'm sure you're all aware of that. To hear the audit report, it's a shame. Every one of you board members, what you have done is unconscionable. Each and every one of you should hang your heads. You did not do the job you were elected to. Mr. Egan, you are welcome from sight. You're welcome to this district, and we only can pray that you can straighten out the damage that has been done. I was here the other night and I made a comment about politics. It was very hard for you to, you were talking about evaluations and I'm worried about how did you decipher it. Tonight's agenda tells me you did not decipher any politics. Maybe you should think about looking at electoral reports, get to know the players. You've changed the faces, but the ties to certain people are certainly still here. It doesn't help our staff when only the faces change, but the game doesn't. We had hoped with your presence that game would change, and we would be back to helping the citizens with their tax dollars and our children's education. I have somewhat of a challenge for maybe some of the board members to think about tonight. I'm going to give you a challenge. We have 3 IT experts that put, when you ran for election, said you had IT jobs. Obviously, that experience did not work out. The challenge that I have is, I think each and every one of you should go down deep right now, seeing everyone here and what the challenge is and what's going to happen to our district and our town, which is absolutely beyond words. Think about it, and hopefully maybe by the end of the evening you could resign. Back to the superintendent. You haven't made one educational decision to benefit our children since you've been here. I think you should think about going also.
Please come to the podium, state your name.
Good evening. Mike Mignon, 23 Westville Avenue, Caldwell. I am Mike Mignon. The proud president of the most committed and passionate men and women in education, the Belleville Education Association. Also, an equally proud co-founder of the most loyal and determined men and women in Belleville, the Belleville United Coalition.
Yeah.
Well, here we are at the end of what many of our teachers have declared the worst professional year of their career. Stifled by intimidation, hindered by lack of supplies and antiquated technology, depressed by the lack of effective leadership, and saddened by the blatant neglect of our children, all under the watch of this superintendent in this Board of Education. Many are saying, gone are the days of such powerful leaders as Joe Petrillo. The key component to a successful education starts and ends with the classroom teacher. We thank you, Joe, for an illustrious career of dedication, support, and loyalty to the teachers and students of Belleville. You are greatly loved and missed. Many others are saying, remember when our district operated effectively under the honest, well-respected veteran leadership of Superintendent Joe Saccone. This was a man with integrity who put the students' needs first and treated his staff with respect and admiration. Joe, you understood that an education system flourishes when the climate is positive and administrators, teachers, and students create harmonious relationships. Joe, you are greatly appreciated for your years of faithful service. Still, others long for a Board of Education whose policies reflect the ideals of the community, embody fair labor practice, and encompass the quality education instead of focusing on individual political agendas. We recognize ethical, upstanding board members like Lou Palanti, John McManus, Dorson Bloom, and Judy Piscatowski, who rejected the political machine for the welfare of the children and their teachers. Well, I have some good news for you, Belleville. Those faces may be gone, but a new image is on the horizon. And we have this Board of Education and this superintendent to thank. You thought you could suppress us through intimidation, but instead you've made us stronger. You sought to break our morale, but instead you've given us a conviction in a cause. You've tried to shatter our solidarity, but instead we have unified across county lines. You figured we would fall under pressure, but instead we have risen to the occasion. You hoped that we would succumb to your will, but instead we stand and fight. You believed that the community would abandon us, but you've empowered them to join in coalition. You attempted to silence us, but instead our cries are loud and clear. We want a quality education for our children. We want fair labor practices for our members. We want a better Belleville. And we won't stop fighting until we get what we want. Excuse me, can I please finish? Thank you. You sought to break our morale.
Sir, you are finished. Your time is up.
I'll be done in a second, thank you. You sought to break our morale, but instead you've given us conviction in a cause. You tried to shatter our solidarity, but instead we have unified across state lines. You figured we would fold under pressure, but instead we've risen to the occasion. Your attempt to silence us, but instead our message is loud and clear. We are NJEA, and we stand in solidarity. We will not be silenced, we will not be intimidated, and we will not be ignored.
Please come to the podium, state your name, address, and affiliation.
this town. They are speaking loud and insistently, and for you to own up to your shortcomings. It's about time you listen to their demands. It's about time for a better Belleville.
Elaine Ivenden, 122 Birchwood Drive, special education teacher, proud member of BEA and NJEA. In September of 1972, I became a teacher. And as my teaching career comes to a close this week, I have been reflecting on the vocation my colleagues and I have chosen. We became teachers because we wanted to make a difference in the lives of children. We wanted to have a positive effect on them, helping them grow, develop, and learn. We wanted to teach. Philip Dunn, teacher and author, expressed this so well when he wrote, "The main reason I became a teacher is that I like being the first one to introduce kids to words and music and books and people and numbers and concepts and ideas that they have never heard about before. I like being the first one to tell them about Long John Silver and negative numbers and Beethoven and alliteration and oh what a beautiful morning and similes and right angles and Ebenezer Scrooge. Just think about what you know today. You read, you write, you work with numbers, you solve problems. We take all these things for granted. But of course, you haven't always read. You haven't always known how to write. You weren't born knowing how to subtract 199 from 600. Someone showed you. There was a moment when you moved from not knowing to knowing, from not understanding to understanding. That's why I became a teacher. And as I leave my career of 42 years, it is my fervent hope that this board and the parents will stand side by side with our teachers and remain dedicated to the educational success of our students, because you each play an important role in that endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you.